If a saber-toothed tiger were dropped into modern-day North America, could it rise back to the top of the food chain? At this moment, a small saber-toothed cub is quietly born on the American continent. It weighs around 450 grams, barely more than a bottle of water. Its first challenge in life, no milk. In normal conditions, a Smilodon cub would rely on its mother's milk for over a year. Bone development and fang growth depend heavily on early nutrition. Without it, its canine teeth develop more slowly and neck muscles lag behind. And those neck muscles are exactly what power its most important weapon system. But luckily, it survives. Its only food source, carrion. For most mammals, consuming decaying flesh is a disaster, but felines can tolerate it to some extent. Its stomach barely manages to cope, but at a cost. Its fang calcification is delayed by about 3 months. This detail will return 2 years later, in the ugliest way possible. At around 6 months old, it encounters its first real danger, an American black bear, about 180 kilograms, searching for berries. The bear notices the small creature in the grass and approaches out of curiosity. Instinct tells the young Smilodon to either attack or flee, but it doesn't understand that the bears of this world are not the same as those in its genetic memory. 10,000 years ago, the short-faced bear of North America stood nearly 2 meters tall, capable of chasing down almost any animal. Compared to that, the modern American black bear is far more tolerant and less aggressive. But the cub doesn't know that. It growls, arches its back, and tries to attack. It is slapped 3 meters away by a single strike and thrown into the bushes. That moment teaches it its first lesson: run when you can't win. Smilodon grows slowly compared to other big cats. Modern lions reach sexual maturity in 2 to 3 years, but Smilodon's canine teeth fully develop only after 3 years. Worse, those iconic saber teeth are not invincible weapons at first. Before full calcification, excessive force can break them. The early nutritional deficit delays fang development by 6 months, meaning that between 18 months and 2 years of age, it must hunt almost entirely using its body and limbs. Compared to reality, the challenge becomes clear. At the same age, a cougar can already kill deer independently, reaching speeds of up to 80 kilometers per hour with sharp reflexes and agile claws. It is a precision-built hunting machine shaped by hundreds of thousands of years of evolution. Smilodon, however, is heavier and more powerful in a different way. Its hunting style is built for ambush and overpowering force, not pursuit. In its juvenile stage, it cannot compete with a cougar. At 2 years and 9 months, its sabers finally fully harden. It now weighs 230 kilograms, stands nearly 1 meter at the shoulder, and measures about 1.8 meters in length, almost 1.5 times heavier than an adult cougar, but still smaller than its fossil ancestors. It is time for its first true hunt. It targets a lone American bison, around 600 kilograms, feeding at the edge of a valley. By modern ecological standards, this is a dangerous mega herbivore. An adult bull can flip off wolves with a single movement. No modern big cat would challenge it alone. Smilodon is not a modern cat. Its hunting strategy, according to current research, is specialized for large prey. It does not chase, it ambushes. Using explosive muscle power, it closes the distance, tackles the prey, and drives its saber teeth into the neck or throat, not to crush bone, but to pierce arteries and airways. A fast, surgical kill. Unlike lions, which rely on prolonged suffocation, Smilodon ends the fight quickly with a single deep strike. The bison doesn't even manage to turn around. It bursts from the grass, knocks the hind legs off balance, pins its back, and locks its forelimbs around the shoulders. Then it strikes downward. The saber teeth penetrate about 12 centimeters, severing the carotid artery. Blood loss is rapid and severe. The Smilodon retreats and waits. 10 minutes later, the bison collapses completely. That meal allows it to grow into full adulthood. At 3.5 years old, it reaches 270 kilograms. Its skeleton is fully mature. Neck muscle cross-section is estimated by paleontologists to be about 30% thicker than a modern lion of similar size. That extra power drives its sabers into prey with devastating force. It now occupies the southern Rocky Mountain region, about 600 square kilometers. It marks its territory with scent glands and claw marks, carving its existence into trees and rocks. This is instinct, but behind it lies a truth it will never understand. It is waiting for others of its kind. 6 months pass. no scent of another Smilodon appears. It is alone on the entire continent. Then it encounters something far more difficult than any single opponent. Not a grizzly bear, but an entire river valley filled with them. In the southern Rockies, migrating rivers bring seasonal gatherings of grizzlies. Every autumn, they arrive from hundreds of kilometers away to feed on salmon before hibernation. It does not care about fish. The problem is that its core hunting territory overlaps with this river valley. Adult male grizzlies can weigh up to 360 kilograms, nearly 100 kilograms heavier than it. When standing upright, they reach over 2.4 meters. Their sheer strength can tear bark off trees like paper. Unlike felines, grizzlies do not rely on precision. They rely on overwhelming force and thick fat layers, sometimes up to 10 centimeters. The Smilodon attacks its first intruder. It pins the bear and drives its saber teeth into the neck. But the angle is wrong. It misses the artery and only pierces muscle. The bear does not fall. It rolls, dragging both animals down a rocky slope. Two ribs on the Smilodon's left side break. The bear is wounded but survives. They separate after minutes of standoff. The bear retreats. So does the Smilodon. During peak season, up to 17 grizzlies gather in the valley. Each attempt to reclaim its territory is met by another dominant male bear. Different individuals, same outcome. It wins one confrontation, but at the cost of a torn paw. It begins to avoid direct confrontation. This is not a single enemy problem. It is a density problem. The real structural challenge is that it cannot solve the situation with one victory, because every defeated bear is replaced by another. It is powerful, but faces not an opponent, but a seasonal wave that does not recognize it as competition. It continues hunting, it continues surviving, but its weight slowly declines. Its territory slowly shrinks. Cougars that once avoided its scent begin to move south again. It sits on the highest rock, listening to the distant sounds of bears feeding in the river below. And in those sounds, there is not a single voice of its own kind. It is the only one of its species left on the entire continent.